Today, let's start with this warm-up problem. Multiplying matrices. Yes. It's under assignments, and then it's the last link under assignments. Make sure you're doing this because I'm going to be calling on people to help me, so you're going to want to know when I call on you. I'm not kidding about the paying attention. Okay, before we can multiply, what do we need to check? The dimensions. So this is a 3 by 2, 3 rows by 2 columns, and then this is a 2 by 2. If the inside numbers are the same, which they are, then we take the outside numbers as our new dimensions. So our new one would be a 3 by 2. 3 rows, 2 columns. Now before I actually go through and multiply, what did I suggest that we do first? What? Yeah, write out the spots. They're so helpful. So row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2. And then when we label each of the spots, what do those spots tell us, Matt?
Like what you multiply by?
Yeah. So the first one tells us that we're going to go to row 1, column 1. And that math looks like 2 times -3, the first number in the row times the first number in the column, added to the second number in the row and the second number in the column. So 2 times -3 is -6, plus -4 times 3 is -12, so -18. Okay, try to find the other 5. Okay. Row 1, column 2. What'd you get, Jake? -14. Did other people get -14? Yes. What about row 2, column 1? Anyone? -3? Alex, what'd you get for row 2, column 2? Row 3, column 1, Allie.
I got -21.
Row 3, column 2, Elena. 2. Okay, so that's multiplication of matrices. Any questions? This should be review. Do we want to do another graphic organizer like yesterday? Do you want to go through another example? Okay, we'll skip it. If you want me to go over one during work time, we can. Okay, so let's say we have 2 numbers. When we multiply 2 numbers, let's say we have 5 times 2 and 2 times 5. Does it matter the order in which I multiply those numbers? No, we get the same answer both ways. Now with matrices, that always won't be the case. Matrices are not commutative. If you change the order, sometimes it works, but other times it doesn't work. So here is an example of 2 matrices, and the question is, does AB equal BA? So here's A times B, and this is a 2 by 3. This is a 3 by 2. So if you do A times B, it works out. Now if we did B times A, it still works out. So in this case, these 2 matrices are commutative, but you might have examples where you have like a 5 by 2 and a 2 by 7. Are those 2 matrices commutative? No, because this way, so let's say this is A and this is B. So A times B, we can do it because the inside numbers are the same. But now let's say we do B times A. So we switch it and we say 2 by 7 times a 5 by 2. Are inside numbers the same? No. So this is kind of, it's just a little side note from what we've been learning, but not all matrices are commutative when you multiply. Okay, so here's just an extension off of that. So what is the dimensions of this matrix? A 2 by 2. And then our final matrix with our answer, it's a 2 by 1. So we're going to take this 2 by 2 matrix and multiply it by a matrix Z. What does the dimensions of Z have to be? So we have a 2 by 2, and it comes out to be a 2 by 1. So we have something by something when you multiply. So these are the same. A 2 by 1. Where's the little stop thing for the record?
It's down at their
Oh, did I do that? Oh, thanks. Okay, so today we're going to be doing calculator stuff. So I want everyone to get theirs out. And we're going to be working with systems of equations. And I think previously to today, you've done system of equations and you'd solve for y and then plug y into the other equation. Well, today we're going to actually learn how to use our calculator for it, and it makes things much easier. And it's something that you'll use again, because you'll be asked to do it on your ACT and your SAT if you choose to take the SAT, and then also with high school tests. So today's important. Last hour, someone's like, when do you use matrix multiplication? And I really didn't have an answer. But then we got to this part, and I was like, this part is important because you will use this stuff again. It's really important. So let's practice. So we have 2 equations. And what we want to do is we want to try to find out what x equals and what y equals. And instead of solving this first one for y and then plugging it into the second one, we can do it all in our calculator with matrices. So the first thing we need to do before we get to the calculator part is we actually need to make a matrix out of these numbers. So this is what it looks like. We put the same variables in the same column. So in this first column, we'll put all of our x variables. So we have a 4 that will go here. And below that, we have a negative x, so it'd be negative 1. We're just taking the numbers in front of the variables and putting them in the matrix. So this is our x numbers. Then our next column will be our y's. So we have a negative 5 and a positive 5. So negative 5, positive 5. And then the solution. So 3, 33, and negative 27. Sometimes you'll see when people do these matrices, they'll see a line between, you know, like this would be one side of the equal sign, that would be the other side. And this is called when you see this, it's an augmented matrix. When you do these, you can use the line if it helps you. Otherwise, it's not very important. I don't even use the line when I do it. So it's totally up to you. But if you see the line, then it's usually called an augmented matrix. So now, does everyone see how I took the numbers from here and put them into here? The biggest thing is all of the same variable has to go in the same column. So you can't have an x and then a y. You want all your x's, all your y's, and then all of your numbers after the equal sign. So then now, this is where we use our calculator. So get it out. Okay. So we want to enter in this matrix and then figure out how we can find the solutions to this system of matrices. So what you first do is you go second matrix. And it's the button with the x to the -1 power. The matrix word is above it. If you don't have a calculator, move next to someone that does. Because it's a lot of steps, and I want to make sure everyone knows. So now we go all the way to edit. At the top, with the arrow, you go over to edit and press enter. Yeah. Are you lost? Okay. For those of you that got as far as I did, just wait. So the first thing you do is you go to second matrix button. It's the button with an x to the -1 and the word matrix is above it. I'll explain that later. Did you get that far? Yeah. Then you scroll all the way over 2 times. You press the arrow button twice. So you get to this button that says edit. Then you press enter. So our matrix that we're going to be working with is A. It's just a name for the matrix. And what was the matrix we just found from this problem? Was it a 2 by 3? So you push 2, enter, 3, enter. Then you should have this matrix. Now we enter in the numbers. So our first number was 4. So you say 4, enter, -5, enter, 33, enter, -1, enter. The negative, make sure you're not using the subtract. You want to be using the negative. Then 5, enter, -27, enter. What? Okay. So I think everyone should get it, or should have gotten it. So then I'm going to say second quit. So I'm going to get to my main screen. So what is our overall goal of putting this into the calculator? What are we trying to do? We're trying to find what x and y equals. So we've entered in the matrix. Now to find what x and y equals, we do something that's called reduced row echelon form. And what that is it's just like trying to solve the equations to get solutions for x and y. So in this, how to do that, you do second matrix again. You go over to math. So you only go over once now to math. And we're going to scroll down until we find RREF, because that's reduced row echelon form. And I think it's B on this one. I don't know if it's B on all of yours. So RREF. And to click it or choose it, you just say enter. Now we're trying to find the solutions to our matrix A that we entered in. So we have to go back to second matrix. And there's our 2 by 3. Matrix A is our 2 by 3. So you push enter. And then you have to close the parentheses and then push enter again. And I want you to make sure that your screen shows this. That's right.
No, but it has like extra brackets.
Oh, that's just the way they show it. That's fine.
You go second matrix and then what?
Enter. And close the parenthesis. Raise your hand if you don't have this on your screen. Matrix. Oh. Delete. Delete. Okay, I don't know what that is. So you go to second matrix, math, all the way down to RREF. Second matrix, there's your 2 by 3. Enter. Close your bracket. Did you enter your numbers in right? Why is that looking like that? Huh. Okay. Well, it's just second entry. We'll do another one and we'll see if you get the right answer. Okay. Who else didn't have it on their calculator? Did you all get it? Did you? You don't have a calculator, Kevin? Because it's going to be hard to learn this without doing it.
Are these coordinates now?
Yes, we'll talk about what those mean. I just want to make sure everyone got to this point. Yeah. Did you get there? Did you were struggling. Did you figure out what you did wrong?
I had Joey help me, but I don't really know how to get there still.
Where did you get lost?
After we did all the RREF. Yeah, where's RREF? Is kind of where I started.
Second matrix. It's all under matrix. And you go over to math. These are kind of like our equations. Whenever you see math, they're like your equations. Go down to see RREF. RREF.
Oh.
Enter. There you go. And then you would have to go back to matrix to get A. So push enter. Close your parentheses.
And then enter?
Yes.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you didn't get it. Okay. So now what does this mean? Like, this doesn't mean anything unless we know how to interpret it. So, this part's important. This means 1x plus 0y equals 2. So 0y is really 0, so you get that x equals 2. What? Yes. So it's your job to go through and interpret what it means, though. So now this means 0 what? Plus equals, so y equals -5. You don't enjoy this? Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, let's do another one. So, let's look at this one. The first thing we need to realize is that this third equation doesn't have a z. So if it doesn't have like a number or variable, what should we replace it with in the matrix? 0. It wouldn't be 1, it would be 0. Because if it was 1, then that would mean that we'd have the variable there, so 0. So our first step is to put these into a matrix. Remember, all of our x's, all of our y's, all of our z's, and then our numbers. So we get 1, 5, 2, 10, -3, 1, -2, 4, and 0. We didn't have one. And then 20, 8, and 6. Any questions how I got from the equations down to this matrix? Okay. Was it tough getting from that to the matrix? Okay. So, I'm going to pull up my calculator. Can someone write it down? Because I'm going to need them to help me with it too. Okay. So, first step, what do I need to do, Emma, to enter in this matrix? Okay. Now what do I do, Josh?
I honestly have no idea.
You have no idea? Alex?
You enter in
And I said it was a what by what? Oops. Hold on, I have to go back. Shh. A 3, enter 4. Are you confused now, Josh? Are you still confused?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll ask for help later.
Okay. Well, we're going through step by step. So I've started right from the beginning, so you should be following quite along. So what part are you confused about?
The part of where you type in the coordinates after you, like, when you went to edit after that.
So edit. So then I push enter.
Yeah.
So now I get this matrix A. This is asking us what the dimensions are. And we found the dimensions from when we put our equations into our matrix.
I understand.
Okay. So now I don't remember the numbers and this is covering it. So can someone help me fill in my numbers? What's my first number?
1. 10.
Thank you.
-2.
-2.
20. 5. -3.
-3.
4. 8. 2. 1. 0. 6.
Okay, thank you for that. So there, those are all my numbers from my matrix. Now, I think it's easiest just to second quit, get out of there. So we entered it in, it's all saved. Get out of there, get to your main screen. Now, what should I do, Ben? What should I do? And because we're trying to find the solutions, right?
Yeah.
So then, what do I go? Go to math? RREF, good job. Once you get there, you just push enter. So you should have RREF on your screen. And then you can go, we have to get our matrix A in there because we're trying to find the solutions of that. So second matrix, and there's A. So you can just push enter, close the parenthesis, and then enter. And what the heck do those numbers mean? So this means 1x plus 0y plus 0z equals 2. So x equals 2. 0x plus y plus 0z equals 2. So y equals 2. And the last one, our last variable, it will be z equals 1. Does anyone have a hard time interpreting those solutions? Okay. So now what I want to do is one more, and then we're going to do work time so you can get some practice with this. So sometimes you won't have equations where you can just take the numbers and put them in. You have to rearrange the equations a little bit so you can put them in. So this one's fine. We have variables and a number. But this one we have y on one side of the equation and then x and z on the other. What we want to do is we want to rearrange it so all of the variables are on one side and the number is on the other. So I'd arrange this like this. I would say x plus z minus y. No, let me start over. So if we minus this over, so we have minus x minus z plus y equals 12. So now we have it in a form where we can just take the numbers in front of the variables and put them in a matrix. Yes? same. Those would be the same thing. Yep. So now we can enter it, or make our matrix. All of our x's. So -4, -1, -2. And then we're going to do our z's next. So we're going to do z's. So we have 2z, -1z, -4z. This one doesn't have a y, so that's a 0. This has one y, and this doesn't have a y. 14, 12, and 22. Now type this into your calculator, and I want to know what you get for solutions. And if you're still confused, this is the time to raise your hand so I can help you figure out how to do it. What's that, a 3 by what? It's a 3 by what matrix here? Yep. Questions are for this. Annika, you got them. X equals. That's what you should have gotten. Shh. If you didn't get these solutions, then during work time I want you to raise your hand and I want to figure out where you went wrong. One more thing before we move on or go to homework. There is a one-word problem you have to do on your homework, and that's something like this. So the school that Lisa goes to is selling tickets to the annual talent show. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 4 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets. So we have to assign variables. So we can say that X is equal to senior, Y is equal to student. The first day there was 4 senior, so 4X plus 5Y, because 5 students made $102. The next day, they made $126 on 7 seniors plus 5 students. So you would put this into a matrix. And then type it into your calculator and then find the solutions. This is for number 7 on your homework. And then your homework for the day is 1 through 6 and 11. I cut out a few problems. So this is number 7, and then I cut out 8, 9, and 10. But I do want you to write this down for number 7. I want you to solve it and try to find those solutions. Well, number 7 is part of our notes, so I do want you to finish finding X and Y for some more practice. So what's your question? What? Yep, 1 through 6 and 11 is your homework.